It's on, folks. No more playing games. No more middlemen. No more fighting each other through proxies in other countries. It now appears that Iran and Israel are directly at war with one another. Now, depending on where you get your news or information from, they may gaslight you into believing that this is not war. But what do you call it when two countries launch military strikes on each other? That's called war. And in the future, they will look back on this moment in history and they will call this war. But right now, with all of the propaganda going on and the excuses and stuff being thrown around, there's no telling what they will label this. But as you all probably already know, there's been a lot of drama going on in the Middle East. Let's just say that. Not that long ago, Israel launched a strike in Syria that winded up killing some top Iranian military officials. Iran responded. I updated you all about this on my main channel. I'm not sure where this video will be uploaded, but Iran responded with hundreds of missiles and drones, and we knew that it was only a matter of time before Israel responded to that attack. Because now, for the first time in history, folks, I know there's always wars going on in the Middle East, and it's hard to really know who's at war with each other at this time or that time. It all blends in together for us Americans, all right? But this is the first time in history that Israel and Iran are attacking each other directly, okay? They've been at odds with each other. Iran will fund different militias, or they'll use their proxies to maybe carry out attacks on Israel. Israel may do shady stuff within Iran using spies, and maybe Israel will attack, certain militias or proxy groups that they know are aligned with Iran. They'll attack them in different countries. But this is the first time in history that Iran and Israel are directly attacking each other. So tonight, Israel responded to Iran's attack. And at the time of this recording, I think the attack is just getting started. So I can't really give you official information on, what type of weapons were used, how many targets were struck, or anything like that. At the time of this recording, I just know that at least one missile has struck Iran. I know there's also major cyber attacks going on, probably trying to jam some of their radars and stuff in Iran, maybe take down some of their missile defense systems as the fighter jets come in, or the drones, or whatever weapons they're going to use against Iran. So I don't know how big of an attack this is yet, because it's still ongoing and it looks like it's just getting started. But I do know that the Security Council, the Supreme National Security Council of Iran, just called an emergency meeting. And it looks like they're already planning a retaliatory strike against Israel. And they already said it. Iran said that, hey, we're going to send this attack. If Israel doesn't respond, we can call it even. You killed one of our top military officials. We launched like 300 drones at you. Let's call it even, tit for tat, and we'll fall back. Well, Israel was like, oh, hell no, we're not going to call it tit for tat. We're not going to call it even. We're going to attack again. And Iran promised that they would respond if that happens. And now we're currently watching that play out. So it looks as if we had a narrow corridor here where this could have, I don't want to say it could have ended in peace, but it could have gone much better than how it's going right now. But they've called this emergency meeting. They're already devising a plan to strike back at Israel. They say that this attack is going to be worse than the attack that they launched the other day. And I believe that Iran was slightly caught off guard here, because, it's been put out there by top U.S. military officials. I believe it's been discussed by Israeli military officials. It's definitely been discussed in Israeli media that Israel, we all knew, was going to respond to Iran's attack, but they made it seem as if Israel wasn't going to respond until after Passover. That Israel was going to allow Passover to happen, and then they would come back with their response, because they wanted Israelis to have a normal week and live their lives. Now, the last day of Passover, I believe, is April 30th. So it was widely believed and widely discussed that whenever Israel responds, it was going to be after April 30th. Here we are, April 18th, and they've responded. So they kind of put false information out there, kind of muddied the waters, maybe made Iran feel a little bit comfortable, and then boom, they came right in. But as I discussed, Iran is, already devising a plan to strike back. And the scary part is that Iran is threatening to strike nuclear sites within Israel. Now, does Iran have this capability? We know that Israel has one of the best missile defense systems in the world, right? That's the only reason why Israel is still on the map. I think they would have been wiped out a long time ago if it wasn't for the various defense systems that they have at their disposal. So Iran is threatening that they're going to attack, these Israeli nuclear bases. I'm not saying that I don't believe that they would do that, but I'm not sure what type of capabilities they have. If they were to do that, they're definitely going to have to use, some better weaponry than what they used in the last attack against Israel. But this is basically blown out into a total regional war. I knew this was coming. Various military experts knew this was coming. I'm no military expert at all. I don't want to fool you into believing I am. I'm just someone that kind of pays attention to some of the stuff that's going on, and I take an interest in it. So, I knew this day would come. It actually took longer for us to get here than expected. But now that we're here, now that this door has been opened, I don't think there's any turning back. We now have, like I said, for the first time in history, Iran and Israel attacking each other. And it doesn't appear as if either side wants to back down right now. And, this is how things escalate. One side does one thing and then the other has to respond. And then they keep responding back to each other over and over and over again. And, the further that drags out, the worse the attacks get and the broader the war becomes. But make no mistake about it, Israel is going to be in a very tough position. And this is going to force, it seems as if lately Joe Biden and just the White House and America in general has been kind of dialing back their support for Israel, right? I think they've been dialing back the support for this war that's going on over there. But Israel is putting us in a position almost like forcing our hand here. Because Israel's already in their conflict in Gaza and everything that's going on over there. They're fighting Hezbollah, various terrorist groups in countries like Syria, Iraq. Now we got this happening in Iran. It looks like when it's all said and done, Israel is going to be up against like half of the Middle East. And I feel like that's going to force our hand as America. We're going to come in and get involved in this. And it looks like we've been wanting war with Iran for a long time anyway. But, Russia has pledged their support for Iran. So this situation can get very interesting. And what seems to be happening with this conflict is that we have these big defining moments like what's happening right now. And then it seems as if things die down for a little bit. people no longer are interested in what's going on over there because people's attention spans are really short. But I don't think this conflict is going to end anytime soon. In fact, honestly, it's just now beginning. Everything that's going on in Gaza, I mean, how can I put it? It almost feels, I don't know exactly how to put it, but when you have the Israeli army up against Hamas, I don't take that as seriously as having Israel up against Iran, you know? I think it's an entirely different ball game that we're about to be playing here. And, you know, I'm hoping things don't get worse, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm not trying to be someone that, like, you know, that's all doom and gloom here. But, you know, the situation's dragging out, but it's going to get worse. Everything that's happening right now between Iran and Israel, that's stuff that I tried to warn my audience was going to happen, you know, from day one when Israel went into Gaza. But it's taken a while for all of this to play out. And the next phases of this situation are going to take a while for this to play out as well. But I don't think there's going to be really any turning back here. In order to turn back, you know, one side's going to have to back down. And when one side backs down, they're going to be humiliated in front of their own people. And, you know, over here in the Middle East, you know, these countries have to be careful. It's not like over here in America. You know, they'll overthrow you or some, you know what I mean? They have to be careful to have the support of the people because it's a region of the world that's constantly in turmoil. So, you know, they face the threat of an uprising or something like that if they don't show their strength. So both sides are going to keep going back and forth. Who knows how bad this will get? But I guess we'll be finding out over the coming weeks. For now, though, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.